Shalom, shalom, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief with me, Rolene Marks, brought to you every Monday to Thursday by these guys, Lay of the Land, where we take a look at those top stories making headlines here in Israel. It has been a crazy busy news week. It is day 229 of Israel's war with Hamas, which started, of course, on the 7th of October with the horrendous and vicious attack by Hamas terrorists. And as always, I want to thank you for sending in your audience questions. If you want to submit a question to me, please do so in the comment section below. I'm getting questions every single day. I love it. I love it that we're interacting. Today's question is quite a hard-hitting question. It's from somebody who prefers to remain anonymous, but we're going to get to it a little later. Let's take a look at those top stories. And we begin, of course, with the dominating story here in Israel, and that is the announcement by the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Karim Khan, the other day, where he said that they will look at implementing warrants of arrest for Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, as well as Hamas leaders Yahya Sinwar, Khaled Mashal and Mohammed al-Def. And there has been a significant outcry in the international community about the drawing of equivalence between the leaders of a sovereign democracy fighting a war that was enforced on us by Hamas terrorists with the terrorists responsible. Yesterday, France said that they would support the ICC's judicial independence. However, today the foreign minister of France stressed that there can be absolutely no equivalence drawn between Hamas and Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Gallant. The United States Biden administration has come out very hard-hitting against the ICC, and in a statement last night, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the White House will work with Congress to look at an appropriate response to the charges which they have outrightly condemned. The accusation has drawn widespread condemnation both from the Republicans and the Democrats that will not support the ICC accusations against Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Gantz. The chief prosecutor, Karim Khan, also alleged that in his opinion, there is no evidence that the Israeli courts are investigating alleged criminal activity in Gaza. And this prompted a strong response by Israel's Attorney General, Gali Baharav Miara. And I'm going to read her statement to you. She says, the security forces, including the IDF, wage war with full commitment to the rules of international law. The legal system in the State of Israel is prepared to examine any serious claim, both in relation to matters of policy and in relation to individual cases. As the State of Israel has made clear over the years, the International Court lacks any authority to conduct an investigation into this matter. In any case, the request to the International Criminal Court to issue arrest warrants against the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister is without foundation. And just a reminder that Israel is not a signatory to the Rome Statute, which is the foundational document that the International Criminal Court is based on. Another big story making headlines today is the announcement by Ireland that they will officially recognize a Palestinian state today. The Irish TSAC, Simon Harris, said that peace can only be second to being a free people. He is expected, or his announcement is expected to be followed by Norway on the 28th of May, recognizing a Palestinian state, and Spain within the coming days. And of course, this has drawn widespread condemnation in Israel, who say that the reward for terrorism committed against the Israeli people is this kind of recognition, and that peace can only be decided between the two parties, Palestinians and Israelis. And I would just remind the TSAC, along with the foreign ministers of Norway and Spain, that on the 7th of October, over 3,000 Hamas terrorists infiltrated Israel. They burned people alive, including whole families. They raped, they murdered, they tortured, and they kidnapped. Is this what you are rewarding? And also, what seems to be quite strange is these countries have not given any indication of how they see a state of Palestine. What will the borders be? What will the capital be? Where are the judiciary and all those mechanisms that you need in place to have a free and independent state? It's, how do they expect Palestinians and Israelis to react to this? Because whatever they decide, it's not going to satisfy both parties. Hamas, of course, have waded in, and they have said that the brave resistance, if you call raping and murdering resistance, has led to the recognition of independence by 3 states. Meanwhile, Israel's foreign minister has recalled the Israeli ambassadors to Spain, Norway, and Ireland. He says that this will be met with a severe response. We will not be silent. And he will also be summoning the ambassadors of those 3 countries for what he calls a reprimand of severe consequences. And someone should remind these 3 countries and ask them to watch Israeli television at 6 p.m. Israel time tonight, because the Forum for Missing Persons and Hostages have given permission for a video clip of 5 of the female soldiers, the Tatzpaniot, who were kidnapped from Nahal Oz base on the 7th of October, to be shown to the public. The really traumatic footage has been edited out for the public, but some of the stills shared are absolutely harrowing. And I would wonder how many people out there watching this right now are parents to daughters, or brothers to female siblings, or sisters to female siblings. If you saw your sibling kidnapped, bleeding from her crotch, beaten, evidently raped, evidently tortured, with absolute terror in their eyes. Look into their eyes and see the terror. The mother of one of the female hostages, Liri Albag, has said these are the hostages that run the risk of being pregnant. These are very, very real fears. They are still being held hostage now for 229 days. And there are 3 European countries that are rewarding this. It is going to be absolutely traumatic for Israelis to see this at 6 p.m. our time, but the families have given permission, saying they want everybody to see the conditions that their daughters are being held under. And finally, for some good news before we get into the viewer question of the day, the Dutch Parliament has passed a motion by 74 to 73, even though it's not binding, declaring the chant "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" as criminal incitement. Jews around the world have long claimed that that chant is genocidal. It calls for the complete eradication and genocide of the people of the state of Israel. So let's get into that viewer question. And today's question comes from Anonymous in South Africa, who says, why does Israel continue to send humanitarian aid into Gaza? Throughout our history, we did not receive humanitarian aid when we were persecuted. So it's a fair question. So I want to unpack it. First of all, Israel is not sending in humanitarian aid. Israel is not bound by the Geneva Convention to send in aid. However, We are bound by the Geneva Convention to ensure that humanitarian aid that enters the Gaza Strip is unimpeded. And as we have heard the Defense Minister, the Prime Minister, as well as the chief spokesperson of the IDF say again and again and again, we will flood Gaza with humanitarian aid. Our war is not with the people of Gaza. We do not want to see the people of Gaza suffering, and we are very aware of the grave humanitarian crisis on the ground. We are ensuring that aid goes through, into the Gaza Strip through various land crossings by land. It comes in via airdrops from various countries like the UAE, Jordan, the United States and other countries, and is now coming in via sea on the pier that has been set up, that has been anchored to the beach in Gaza to ensure that aid trucks can enter. Yesterday we had a situation where, as the UN said, the civilians were they were taking care of distributing that humanitarian aid. In other words, the aid wasn't getting to the distribution warehouse. Civilians were taking the aid off the trucks as the trucks were entering Gaza. So a different plan will be made to ensure that it gets to the warehouse and is distributed to those who need it. I urge everybody to please follow COGAT. If you Google COGAT, C-O-G-A-T, it will take you to the website. You can see how much and what humanitarian aid is going into the Gaza Strip every single day. Israel is proud of our record of ensuring that humanitarian aid in the form of food, fuel, medicines, tents, whatever is needed, is entering the Gaza Strip. We reserve the right to inspect those trucks because we are in a state of war, but I do want to make clear we do not want to see the civilians in the Gaza Strip suffer in any way. War is excruciating and agonizing enough. We want to make sure that they get food, that they get medicines, that they get the help that they need and they deserve. And those are our top stories, guys. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our Facebook community at Lottle Site. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief, and we are on X at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Marlene Marks. This is the Israel Brief. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye for now. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Hey, I almost forgot to say that. God bless you all. Bye for now.